Hi girls, so we're diving into chapter 10 and we're making some assumptions about what you already know. So we know that the medians, the means, the modes, we should know those, and a frequency table. We should also remember that we have cumulative frequency tables, okay? And what we're also going to, and the big part we're adding this year, is we're going to add a cumulative frequency. Instead of table, we're going to turn those tables into graphs. So that is the work of this unit primarily, is turning these into these and then how to interpret them. Okay, so that's what we're going for here. Okay, girls. If you're noticing a pause here, you can fast forward until you see the new writing. Okay, cool. This is a frequency table. Now, it's a histogram because we have our ranges of our data here, okay? These are ranges, so it's a histogram. It would be drawn in a histogram if we were going to graph it. It also has a frequency of, one instance between 65 and 70, and I want you to notice a couple things. I want you to notice that these have the equal sign underneath and these do not. So 110 is included in this side, but not the 115. So it's less than 115, but greater than or equal to 110. Okay, so the value of 90 is in this row, not this row. That's important to remember about frequency tables. And what we need to do now is turn this into a cumulative frequency table. So we're going to add a column and do a cumulative frequency table. And for cumulative frequency, what you do is, by the time we get to 70, we know we have one instance. By the time we get to 75, we have the one instance plus the two. So we're up to 3 instances total. So that's why it's cumulative. It always adds on. And then 3 plus 8 is 11. And 11 plus 16 is 27, and so on. I've populated the rest of those so you can see all the values. It's easy to tell what the mode is, and the mode uses just the frequency table part, not the cumulative, right? That's our most common one. And if we wanted to find our mean, we would do something different with this, right? We would have to be multiplying for our products. And if we're trying to find our median, we need to find the center term. And that's kind of what we're building to, because we're going to use a graph for that. And what I want to do with this video, my primary goal is to show you how to turn this into a graph. So we need graph paper. Here we have graph paper. And we need our 2 axes. So let's draw the axes. Remember that frequency is always our y-axis, all right? And in this case, it's cumulative frequency. And our x-axis is going to be the other value. And if you look at the table up here, you can see that that's weight in kilograms. So I'm just going to put kilograms down here for the moment. Now the 2 values I'm going to plot against each other, let's be really clear, are going to be this upper weight of the ranges and the cumulative frequency. So I need my weight, which is my x-axis, right, to cover values of 65 up to 115, and I need my y-axis, which is the frequency axis, but it's cumulative frequencies, to go up to 80. So I need to use that, keep that in mind when I'm drawing my scale. See what I have there? It's a little skewed, but that'll work. Now I need to plot 70 against 1. If I'm going across the line now, right, I'm going to plot the 70 and the 1. So I need to go at 70 and go to about 1, which is going to be way small down here, right, if each of these blocks is worth 5. At 75, we've had up to 3 people, so it's a little higher. When we hit up to 80, we've had 11 people so far, so it's going to be just above the 10. At 85, I've got 27 people so far, so I need to be closer there. And notice how this is starting to angle up fast. At 90, I've got 48 people. So I need to find a spot that's good, approximately 48, right there. At 95, I've got 67. I hope you're following. Oopsie. And at 100, I've got 75. It's going to be right there on that little intersection. And now it's starting to level out, because then I go to 78. and then 79, and then 80. Oops. Alrighty. See that? So those are my spots. Those are my dots. What you do with that then is you actually are going to draw a line connecting them. And you don't want to draw straight lines. You want to draw, and this is good, it takes a little practice, you want to draw a smooth sort of S shape. Okay? This is our cumulative frequency graph. I'm going to restate one thing about these points. Okay? This first point that we graphed here, and let me get a new color on so we can make reference here. This first point that we graphed up there was an actual fact. If we think of it as a graph point that has an x comma y value, it was 70 over 1 up, right? So if they were talking about actually plotting points on the axis, think of this is your x value, this is your y value, which creates all these points. So I've got 70 comma 1, I've got 75 comma 3, etc., etc. Does that hopefully help to say it that way? Again, bring questions to class. We're going to work on this and make sense of our very next thing to do with this. Excuse me. Excuse me. Is how to find the median and the Q1 and the Q3, because remember, median is also Q2, all from this kind of a graph. And I promise you, or I want to promise you, that this will be easier with the graph than with the table. And that's why we're teaching you the graph, so you can see it this way. Okay? I'll see you in class.